Okay, let's go over a couple of these where we eliminate the parameters. So this one is kind of similar to the previous one, so I thought it'd probably be good to see again. And if you notice any of the other parts, just let me know. But so I know you were kind of like, okay, which one should I use? Well, you typically kind of take the easier one and plug it into the one that looks more challenging. And so in this case, this is going to be the easier part, the t plus 1. Um, equals y, what we're going to do is you have to solve for t first, and then we use substitution to plug it into the one that looks a little bit more complicated up above. So here you subtract 1 from both sides, and we end up getting y minus 1 equals t. And so that's what we're going to take and substitute where we see our t in the equation up above. So now we have x equals y minus 1 squared plus 2 times y minus 1 and then a plus 1. And then from here we have to square this. And so technically what we have to do is really break this into y minus 1 times y minus 1 and FOIL that. Here we can go ahead and distribute that 2, and then don't forget about the plus 1. So when we FOIL this, you multiply the first, the outer, inner, and then the last two, which gives us a plus 1. Then we have plus 2y minus 2 plus 1. And now we just need to combine some like terms, and we should be good to go. So let's see, y squared, this will become minus 2y plus 1 plus 2y minus 2 plus 1. And this one actually, this is interesting. This one, um, we can cancel that out. And then the plus 1 minus 2 right there, those actually would all cancel out, right? And so we're just left with, oops, I forgot my x equals on all these. X equals, so x equals y squared. And there we go. Alrighty then. Okay, let's look at another one that's a little different. So on this one, once again, you want to solve for t. That would probably be the easiest. Um, let's see here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna use the top one and solve for t up here. So first I would subtract 1. So I'd get x minus 1 equals 2t. And then we'll go ahead and divide by 2 on both sides. And so we get that t is equal to x minus 1 over 2. So we're going to take this and plug this in right here, and then that's really going to be it. So y equals 3 times the square root of x minus 1 divided by 2, and that's it. And now let's look at one that has some trig in it. So we have the cosine and sine here. And so we're going to do a little trick here, and this was in the video. What we're going to do here is one of our identity functions here would be cosine. I'll use t in this case. Cosine of t squared plus sine of t squared is equal to 1, right? So that's one of our identities. And so what you're going to do is basically create a sine of t squared to substitute in and a sine of t squared to substitute in. So starting with the first one, we would divide both sides by 4, so I'd be left with cosine of t equals x divided by 4. And then you would take the cosine inverse of both sides, and so I'd end up with t is, oh, I'm sorry, don't want to do that, don't want to do that. Actually, that would make it super messy. No, I'm sorry. What we want to do here is we want to square both sides, and in doing so, now we have the cosine of t squared is equal to, and then I'm just going to write this as x squared over 16. Okay, and so that's what cosine of t squared is. So yeah, that's actually in the video we kind of talk about that. We don't want to do that. Okay, then on the second one, it's basically the same thing. We're going to divide by 2 on both sides to get started. And so we're going to have sine of t is equal to y divided by 2. And then we're going to square both sides. And so we're going to end up with sine of t squared is equal to y squared over 4. And so now that's what we're going to do. We're going to substitute this right here, and then same thing with the sine of t squared. We're going to put that there, and let's see what we got going on here. So we're going to end up with x squared over 16 plus y squared over 4 equals 1. And then that formula there should look pretty familiar. All right, if you want to do some more, let me know.